I'd like to start with an opening prayer. So if you want to just get comfortable and just breathe in the energy of this morning, this life. Just join me in this consciousness. Leave everything else outside. Just be in this moment, this present moment. And know with me, there's one spirit, there's one power, there's one presence, and it's right here where we are, in this room, in each of us, in us, around us, and through us. This amazing love, life, light with us, always one with us. Never been any separation and never will. So I speak my word for all of you when I say I am one with this spirit. I'm one with this love, life, and light. I'm one with the peace and the beauty and the joy that is spirit. And I affirm that I am all of the attributes of spirit are mine. I am good. I see my good all around me. I see the blue of the sky and the beauty this morning, the white fluffy clouds. I see the beautiful roses. I see the beautiful flowers, the ranunculus, the irises, amazing variety right here, the beauty of life, the beauty of spirit expressing in so many forms. And I know for myself that I am one with this. I am beauty. I accept my beauty. I say yes to my beauty. I turn to prosperity and I say, yes, I am prosperous. The universe is unlimited, so I am unlimited. And I turn to health. I see the perfect health, the human body, and I say, yes, I accept my perfect health. And I see love in all the faces of the people I meet. Love. I say, yes, I accept love. I am lovable. I am worthy and I am loving. I am love expressing in human form. So today and every day, I release and let go of anything unlike perfect love, perfect spirit. People may say fear, war, injustice. No. I reject those. I turn away completely. I let them go back to the nothingness from which they came, and I embrace my good. Today is spring. I plant seeds of good, seeds of greatness, seeds of love. And I know they bloom and blossom in my life. As I change my thinking, I change my life for a better life, and I embrace it now. There is good for me in the universe, and I ought to have it, and I have it now. For this, I give great gratitude for all my good. So I release my word into the mind, knowing it is acted upon as spoken. I know it is so. Together we say, so it is. Thank you. Richard.
Yes. So this week's theme is manifestation. How do we realize our dreams? And I'd like to start off. Now, back in 1940, Walt Disney came out with a movie before our time called Pinocchio. And the theme song from that movie was When You Wish Upon a Star. So let me know. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. If your heart is in a dream, no request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star, as dreamers their secret longing. Like a bolt out of the blue, faith steps up to see you through. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. Like a bolt out of the blue, fate steps in and sees you through. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. Your dreams come true.
Again, I'm Reverend Maureen, and it's my pleasure to welcome you here to Carlsbad Center for Spiritual Living. We understand that there's a power for good that we can use, greater than we are, but we can use it. So I'd like to begin the candle lighting, and I invite Linda. The candles help remind us of the underlying spirit of life and the divine unity of all. So we light a candle for life. Life is everywhere present, flowing through each and every one of us. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is our life right now. So please affirm with me, I am life. We light a candle for love. The birth of love happens within each one of us every time we make room for the Christ consciousness in our hearts and recognize our unity. We are points of love within the heart of God. So please affirm with me, I am love. We light a candle for light. The light of God is the presence and the power. We're always walking in the light. We radiate the light of God wherever we are. So please affirm with me, I am light. We light a candle for beauty. We're made in the likeness and image of God. We are each whole, complete, and beautiful, just as we are. We accept the beauty of God's perfection as our perfection now. So please affirm with me, I am beauty. Next, we light a candle for joy. Joy is the very nature of spirit and the true essence of each of us. We celebrate the joy of our own rebirth in the God consciousness. We each bring joy to the world. So please affirm with me, I am joy. And we light a candle for peace. Today and every day, we open our hearts to peace. We are each a center of peace in our world. So please affirm with me, I am peace. And lastly, I invite you to take a moment to recognize your own inner light that is always shining within, as we each honor our own metaphysical path of wholeness, oneness, and mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. Thank you, Linda. So I have a few announcements. This Sunday is the first Sunday of the month, and we forgot the cake. We still want to wish happy birthday, but someone brought a wonderful fruit salad, So we'll have the fruit salad and bring the cake next week. So do we have any birthdays in May? Oh, all right, all right. Let's sing happy,
Next week.
3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. And I want to invite anyone who's here for the first time. I think everybody's been here before. But we do have Stay for Fellowship today. We have available to everyone after service spiritual mind treatment. Oh, a new person? Okay, a new person. Well, please greet our new person afterwards. And we do have a packet.
I got it.
Oh, you got it. Okay, perfect, perfect.
Greeter took care of it.
That's
Oh,
right.
okay,
Very
thank you,
efficient.
greeter, thank you, greeter. And please sign our guest book. Okay.
Done.
So again, we do affirmative prayer, and it's available, and we have ministers and practitioners here today. Show of hand, who can do prayer for you? Okay, we're here for you. You can also fill out a written form in the lobby if you would like prayer treatment. Please fill it out. We have a group. We're all online, and we'll be happy to pray for you this week. Another announcement, we have class 4 today on mental equivalence. And next week will be the last class that we have. We're getting closer to creating that picture in our mind of what we want more of in our life. So if you have it and you still want to sit in on it, you can sit in on it. And please pick up a members and friends update in the lobby there. Fill it out and turn it in, or take it home and bring it back next week. And the last thing, we're creating a committee to research a new meeting place. So some of you signed up last week. If you're still interested, or more of you are interested, feel free to sign up. Anything else, Kate?
We'll meet on Zoom.
Oh, we're meeting on Zoom tomorrow at 5 o'clock, the site committee. All right. So we know this is a community-based fellowship, which means we are here because of the generous giving of our volunteers. And I want to just mention a couple. Flowers were brought by Pat. Thank you. Amazing, amazing. And greeter, Robert, thank you. Jan Green, treats.
Courtney also.
Oh, okay, thank you, Courtney. And video recording, Jim Massipas, thank you, Jim. Set up, your husband, Chuck DuVivier, thank you, Chuck. And later we'll have the reader, Odie. So if you want to help, please sign up on the volunteer sheet. Right now it's time for the group reading, so in your, So group reading. Let's read it together. God is all, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect love and perfect abundance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect abundance. So we have a group song. Did everybody get the words? If you want to stand?
Please stand. I love the song, the way see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything. One more verse. I love myself the way I am, and still I want to grow. But change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful, I'm capable of being the best me I can. I love myself just the way I am. Yes, I love myself just the way I
Thank you, Richard. Thank you. Beautiful. Okay, I'd like to introduce our reader, who is reading for today, Odie. Let's see, where's your reading?
It's right here.
Oh.
Is it on? No. Am I on now?
Yes.
Yes. Good morning, all you beautiful souls.
Good morning, Odie.
My reading today, I'm starting with from the Daily Word for May 5th. My life, I recall my orderly growth that led me from infancy to adulthood. Along the way, I have grown in knowledge and understanding, each new insight building upon the ones that came before. I remember this as I continue to learn and grow, and I create my life in accordance with divine order. First, conceiving an idea, then letting it grow in my consciousness through the power of my thinking, and then doing what I can in the world to help my idea manifest. I relax, trusting my life and all life is in perfect divine order. And from the book Live Your Bliss by Terry Cole Whitaker. Choose to manifest what you want to be, do, and have, and not what others want for you. Focus your attention on what you want instead of what you do not want. Our attention is divine, and it gives life to whatever we focus on. When we give our attention to what we do not want, it thrives and increases in the same way that watering weeds make them grow. Accept that what you desire is attainable, because without such acceptance, no matter how hard we work to attain something, we just can't get it because we are holding on to opposing concepts. You can't row a boat in two directions at once. One minute we say yes to what we desire, and the next moment we say no because we don't believe that we can attain all that's possible. And this keeps us stuck going back and forth in our mind. Whatever we desire, we will have the power to manifest it when we decide it's possible and perfectly right for us to manifest it. By absorbing our minds in the most spiritually elevated and beautiful thoughts possible, we will attain what these thoughts point to. Our faith is demonstrated by our endeavors to manifest this desire to do our part, and at the same time, let go, let God do God's part.
All right.
Thank you, Odie. Richard?
Yes. Okay, I've come up with a new word, sort of. It's called euthanize. But I don't spell it E-U-T-H. I spell it Y-O-U-T-H. What am I talking about? So anyway, the idea is that I want to be young at heart. Okay? Young at heart. In other words, open. I open up my creative possibilities, my inner self, to that universe of possibilities. Kind of goes like this. And Sinatra, of course, had a big hit with this in 1953. Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you're young and hard. For it's hard you will find to be narrow of life if you're young and hard. You can go to extremes with impossible schemes. You can laugh while your dreams fall apart at the seams, but life gets more exciting with each passing day. Love is either in your heart or on its way. Don't you know that it's worth every treasure on earth if you're young at heart? For as rich as you are, it's much better by far to be young at heart. And if you should survive, here's a thought, to 105, look at all you'll derive out of being alive. And here's the best part, you've got a head start if you are among the very young and don't you know that it's worth every treasure to be young at heart? For as rich as you are, it's much better by far to be young at heart. And if you should survive to 105, look at all you'll derive out of being alive. Here's the best part, you've got a head start if you are among the very young at heart.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Well, next, it's my pleasure to introduce Reverend Kate DuVivier. She's going to talk to you about dreams do come true.
All right.
Good morning. Okay, happy Cinco de Mayo.
Happy birthday, we forgot the cake, happy Cinco de Mayo, we forgot the chips and salsa, but it's not too late. I know everyone can have their cerveza or whatever later on. I do, there's so much going on in the world that I started out talking about peace and protesters, and I just crossed that out of my talk. But I wanted to thank Reverend Maureen for centering us with her opening treatment, just centering us in a place of peace.
Yes.
Because everything that goes on, and what can we really do is what we can really do is know that peace is always possible. Because isn't that what our history does teach us? Is that things get rough and then they get smooth. We are at choice, and what we're trying to do is to learn to switch into the light faster, quicker, more easily, with less a feeling of chaos. So my talk today is about this, what I think is the reality that dreams can come true. And, thinking about dreams, there's so many meanings for the word dreams. So I'm not going to talk about premonitions. I don't know if any of you have ever had premonitions. I had, dreams or feelings that you just feel like something's going to happen, or like you've already been somewhere that you're at, and in some way it turns out to be true. That's a certain fascinating subject, but it's not my subject for today. And I'm also not going to talk about the dreams that we have while we're asleep, or not too much. And that's also a fascinating subject. And if you've never kept a dream journal, you would enjoy it. If you just write down your dreams, even for a few nights, and then look at them in the morning. Because if you're like me, when you wake up in the morning, you don't really remember, or you remember for about 30 seconds. And then it's amazing, they just poof, are gone. But, our sleeping dreams can give us some clues about what it is we're working on when we're asleep, or what's going on in our subconscious minds, although sometimes they're just about, that movie was too violent, or I ate too much ice cream before bed. We don't have to take everything seriously. But when I'm thinking about the idea that dreams can come true, it's more like the song that Richard opened with, When You Wish Upon a Star. Or it's funny because I was thinking of another Disney song from Cinderella. It's just something about Disney. Sometimes he hits it on the nail, or they do. A dream is a wish your heart makes. Have faith in your dreams, and someday your rainbow will come smiling through. So these dreams are kind of like that, but they're not exactly like wishes. Because when you think about wishful thinking, you're often just talking about random thinking, almost like daydreaming. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's a good way to explore a lot of different possibilities and a lot of things that you might like to experience. Daydreaming can be a lot like watching a movie. If you saw that movie about Walter Mitty, the Dream Life or Secret Life of Walter Mitty, it's just, it can just be a scenario of thoughts that run through your mind, and it's not necessarily that important. But then again, you may notice that the same series of thoughts, the same idea, the same daydream, the same passing thought keeps recurring over and over again, for better or worse. And that's when I think we should pay attention. Try to figure out, at least, where did that recurring thinking come from? So it's not always like the wish your heart makes, right? And sometimes recurring thoughts can be evidence or result of some kind of a traumatic experience, or maybe just a vague feeling that needs to be either resolved or solved or maybe forgiven, or maybe just understood in a new way. So I'll use myself as an example. When I was young, I had repetitive dreams, not necessarily asleep, but of skeletons and mummies and being chased and having monsters after me. And it really went from my earliest memories until I was, in college. I would have these dreams. So happily, I have outgrown those. I'm no longer chased by monsters in my dreams. But I think part of the reason that I outgrew them is because I took a look at why do I keep having these? And I sort of felt I made a mental adjustment that I didn't have to run away. I could stand my ground. And once I was able to think it through and resolve it, that particular scenario of dreams just kind of lost its effect. It just stopped coming up for me. And I think that it probably was the result, these thoughts were probably the result of some kind of anxiety that I had. And I had plenty of things to be anxious about when I was a kid, like many, many people. So I just wanted to share that dreams can come true, but not all dreams should come true, right? There's a few that we were like, no, that's not it. Just like there's daydreams. We're like, no, that is not my heart's wish. But there are dreams. There are ideas. There are indicators of something that is really kind of rising up in you, something that you could think of it as something that's wishing to be outpictured in your life. So these dreams are dreams that we can work with. Because the word dream doesn't just mean what happens when you're asleep or a random series of thoughts. The word dream also has the meaning of a vision. Or maybe a goal or a purpose that you desire. Something that fully satisfies a true wish, a true ideal that you have. These are the positive definitions of a dream. A vision, an ideal, a goal, a purpose that I am talking about when I say dreams can come true. So for the past few weeks, we have been holding this class called Mental Equivalence, and it's based on the works of Emmett Fox and of Ernest Holmes. And it teaches not only that dreams can come true, but it teaches there's an actual practice, a process that we can use to make our dreams come true, to make things manifest or appear in our lives as experiences, or whether they're material or spiritual. And we start with this process in a metaphysical way. So the process itself, if I just say it to you, it's like super simple. You just choose your intention, decide. You create a clear vision of what it would actually look like for you, how your life would change, what that thing or that experience or that feeling that you wish for would affect your life if it were to manifest. And we call this vision the mental equivalent. That's, when you say, we're studying the mental equivalent. No, we're studying how to make a very concrete vision. And then we can rely on the creative process of life itself to bring about a manifestation, a change that corresponds to your ideal in a natural way. It usually includes a shift that will take place in our own thoughts, feelings, and even our actions in conformance with this new ideal that we are about, that we are working on seeing in our experience. And this whole idea, I mean, that was like a 1-paragraph explanation of the entire 5-week class, right? And honestly, it's the same thing that we teach every single week, which is that our thoughts create the tendencies in our lives. And this is always the truth, no matter whether we're thinking about scary skeletons or whether we're thinking about, you know, having a new beautiful house or a new job or having a very, you know, loving family relationships, whatever. Our thoughts do create the tendencies in our lives. But the thing is, we can also learn to be more specific in our thoughts. And that can lead us to experience more specific tendencies or results, because our thoughts and our level of belief or faith leads us to a state of gratitude. You know, and we often say, Meister Eckhart said, the only prayer you need is thank you. Why is it the only prayer you need thank you? Because you're knowing and giving thanks for what you have. See, the simple truth is that thoughts of good, thoughts about seeing the good, being grateful, staying mindful of these aspects of God, just like the candles that we lit, aspects of God or spirit, if you don't want to use the word God, like love, truth, wisdom, creativity, peace, abundance, gratitude. Seeing that when you look out on the world is the way in which we can align our lives with good itself. And as we do that more and more, you will discover, it's true. You will discover and experience a more harmonious life and greater peace of mind. It's the way it works. So therefore, it makes sense that specific thoughts of specific good will align your life with an experience of this specific good. So I'm using the word good, right? And we, you know, a lot of times I like to think about the words of Emma Curtis Hopkins, who was a New Thought teacher. Ernest Holmes, the founder of Religious Science and Science of Mind, was actually one of her last students. And I love the way she would say that sometimes God is too loaded a word. People have a lot of thoughts about God that might not always make it clear to them, to me, what we're talking about. And so she would say, use the word good. My God is my good, because that could be very useful to see that God is always good. And so when we think about specific thoughts, I want to encourage you all to make sure they're thoughts of good. For instance, if you were to have a dream of revenge, as some people do, or retribution, and you were to try to use spiritual principles in the furtherance of revenge or retribution, you would also end up aligning your life with those negative experiences, and the consequences that would unfold in your own life would be negative. And from what I have seen, this seems to cause kind of a collapse into chaos, with negative results in a person's life. And over again, we then see people then getting their heads together and rising up again, seeing that, oh, that's not what I want. I want to get back on track. So I'm sure if you've never experienced this in your own life, if you've never had anything go haywire, I'm sure you've seen someone else that's had this happen to them. Because the thing is that life is positive. You know, you can just look out the window, except the blinds are closed. So look into the window of your mind and just think about any living plant. Well, we have these beautiful roses from Pat's garden today, you know, but if you just think about plants, you see firsthand the positivity of life. The fact that life is always in expansion, not in contraction. But when it seems to be contracting, when a plant dies, even then, it's actually transforming into something new. Maybe part of the living soil, which is then taken up by the next plant in an endless cycle of growth and change. And that's why, even in a culture like ours, which values an appearance of youth so strongly, even so, as we do age, we continue to grow and evolve. We continue to change and gain greater spiritual understanding. We gain wisdom as we move through and experience the stages of our own always changing lives. It's a positive experience. A lot of times people say aging is negative. It's not. It's a positive experience. It's an opportunity to be able to have this ability to look back, to review things with wisdom and gain greater insight. And as we do this, we also can gain a stronger and clearer ability to use this practice of intentional manifestation in amazingly useful and positive ways. Or not. Right? We don't have to do it. We're always a choice. That's the amazing thing. You know, our own subconscious can be a source of limitation if we're not self-aware, if we, you know, what I think Socrates said, that an unexamined life is not worth living. So I wouldn't go that far myself to say that, but still, isn't it a wonderful gift that we do have the ability to examine our lives, our individual lives, and also our shared or collective culture. In my mind, when I think of what is an unexamined life, I think, well, that's a life where a person just kind of goes along to get along. They don't really question things. You could say it's a life based on the past, based on expectations of others or desires of others, based on unconscious beliefs and habits that have been passed on to us. So yes, when I was young, girls were supposed to be teachers, nurses, or housewives. Of course, that wasn't, well, I just remember, you know, the teacher going around the room and asking the kids in the class what they wanted to be. And the girls said teacher, nurse, and the boys said fireman, policeman, whatever, doctor, all kinds of things. It's just interesting how that was something that was shared in our culture, and our whole culture has shifted. So that's not exactly the case today. Things do change and move. But individually, we have the opportunity to be at the leading edge of that shift, right? We don't really want to be at the back end of change. We want to be choosing the change that we would like to see, and as we choose it, we begin to experience it. And sometimes it's easier to look back and see how unconscious shared beliefs shape our own lives. So I remember going to a job interview and being told, oh no, you're the wrong age, we can't hire you, you might get pregnant and then you wouldn't come to work. And I had, and in the same little community, rural community, I had a friend who got divorced and they fired her. I was like, wow, no, you wouldn't have any workers today if you started doing things like that. So when I think about, how do we see where we are? Just imagine or visualize for a moment, if you can remember, sometime when you maybe were walking or driving through a heavy fog. Do you remember that sometimes when you're going through fog, it's like there's clearings. There's places where you could see fine. And then the fog kind of comes back again and covers everything over. And so this is what happens in our thinking. Sometimes it's clear. And sometimes we have brain fog, right? You've all heard of brain fog, where you can't really see clearly. Not just what you ought to do in the next half hour, but, what is it? And the truth is, the really good news is that we can actually clear away the brain fog of confusion by using spiritual practices. We call them practices because you need to practice them. And the more we practice, the more successfully we can use them. So we can learn to clear our minds and let the dust of what seems to be happening settle down, so that we can see more clearly what is actually going on within ourselves, as well as around us. And then once we get our bearings again, once we recognize where we truly are right now, then, I think of, maybe a steamboat in the fog or a little towboat in the fog, right? Once you get the bearings of where you are, then you can correct your course and move in the direction of our true dreams, towards our vision of good for ourselves. Follow those true wishes that rise up from within our hearts. So one thing I just want to throw in, because it came up in our class, is this idea of destiny. So people say, oh, we have a destiny. Some people say we have a destiny, something that, we have to do. But I just want to clarify and say that we believe that our destiny as human beings is not to do this thing or that thing or be this way. But we do have a destiny. And that destiny is to be ourselves, to be a unique expression, to be a unique individualization of this thing that we call life or spirit, of the universal creative mind. Because we're always making choices, consciously and unconsciously, and we're always impacting life, the greater life. And we're always triggering new chains of causation in life. It's not so much about destiny as it is about the consequence of our choices that we make. So whether we're aware of it or not, everyone will inevitably make progress little by little through our experiences. We call it the school of hard knocks, right? I think we've all learned something through that method, like, oops, don't do it that way. But we also have other ways of learning besides struggle. We can learn from each other. And that's part of what we're doing here today, right? And we can also use the practice of questioning, like Socrates was a great questioner and study. We can use contemplation and meditation, visualization, affirmation, and of course spiritual mind treatment. This is the quick and easy way to clear a pathway for our dreams to come true. Because it's never too late to have a dream, and it's never too early either. So why shouldn't you make a decision to follow your dreams? Or maybe to take another look at your dreams. Maybe you need to brush the dust off. Or maybe you need to just let go and have a new dream, replace it. We need to let our dreams rise up into our consciousness where we can actually take a look at them and we can sort them out. Maybe, I do this sometimes, mix up my random daydreams with my deepest wishes, and so I just, it's like, oh, I'm sitting at the royal buffet, I can't eat anything. There's too much to choose from, or I'll have a little of everything, but not one thing in particular. This is something that we can do. So I wanted to just share with you that my mother, who many of you remember, who founded the center, she was a widow, and eventually she became a teacher, a high school teacher. But you might not know that when she was a teacher, she was dreaming of becoming a writer. So when I left home and she was a little more free, she became a writer, and she tried for a number of years to write adult fiction, and that didn't really work. And then she found the dream that was perfect for her, which was writing books for teenagers, because she knew exactly how they spoke, what was going on in their lives. And she had really good success writing for teens. In 1981, she wrote a bestseller called Dreams Can Come True. It sold over 1 million copies.
Wow.
It was translated into 7 languages.
Wow.
And she was named Writer of the Year by the Society of Children's Book Authors.
Wow.
And then she was done. Right. Then she was pretty much done. She did a few more books, but she was done, and she became a religious science minister. She had a new dream, right? And she was able to embody her new dream of teaching religious science and starting the spiritual center over 30 years ago. So thinking about that, and I do a lot of course, you can feel like, well, we've inherited this from her, right? This is something that was brought to us from something in the past. But in reality, the truth is, today, every single Sunday, we're the ones creating this center, fresh, with our own personal decision to be here today and to participate and to learn about using spiritual principles today. It's today that we're deciding to sort through our dreams. It's today that we're choosing our primary intentions. And it's today that we're going to allow our dreams to blossom right now. Today is your day to choose what your own tomorrow will bring. Because we live in the only moment that we have, this moment. It doesn't matter exactly. I mean, we have the benefit of what happened 30 years ago, right? But we're living in today. And we really can make the most of this now moment when we use our conscious thoughts to create the life that we dream of. Ralph Waldo Emerson, American transcendentalist, wrote, "Finish each day and be done with it." You've done what you could. Some blunders and absurdities no doubt crept in. Oh, yeah, that's true. He says, forget them as soon as you can. Tomorrow is a new day. You shall begin it serenely and with too high a spirit to be encumbered with your old nonsense. I just love that quote. And he also said, the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. So why not make some time this week to dust off your old dreams and pay attention to the new dreams that are rising up for you, because anything is possible when you have faith in your dreams and when you let good come smiling through. So it is. Thank you. I just read it.
Yeah, what can I say? I think the whole idea of becoming more aware of what a beautiful world this is, the complexity of it, the opportunities. Now, a friend of mine, way back a few years, had Louis Armstrong come by his house after a concert. This was back in Boston. This was a few years ago. And Louis is one of my dream people. He is just an amazing talent. Love him to death. And so this is to him. This is to you all. You can sing along if you like. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see the blue for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see golden skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark secret night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. It's the colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friendships saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I ever knew. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yes.
card too. How nice. Thank you, Richard. Okay, so this is our moment where we recognize and give thanks for our center through sharing the prosperity that we have, sending it into the center so that we can pay our rent, do all those things, and even buy coffee, all the little things and the big things that our center needs in order to keep going in a material way. So I just want to declare and know that there is enough. There's enough for the center, enough for each and every person here, enough good in the world. And as I think about these gorgeous roses, I think about the abundance that overflows, the abundance of good, beauty, and prosperity, which flows out into the world and flows to us from the world. This is good. I know it is so. I give thanks. And so it is. Now we'll just sing in your program. I am so blessed. We'll go through that once while we do our collection.
Okay, everybody. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so
So we're about to break for fellowship. There's a lot of goodies, so
Yeah.
it's amazing. It's wonderful. I'm grateful. We have the volunteer sign up on the lobby table. I'll also put the site committee sign up on the lobby table, and we'll send out a link to Zoom for tomorrow. If you're not familiar with Zoom, try it early. I'll open the room and you can practice. I'll send all that out. And if you don't get the link, go ahead and call me. Let me know. Oh yeah, at 11:30 we'll hold our class, and everything is wonderful. So knowing that, I'll just give a quick closing treatment. Oh, we'll see if it's quick.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Yeah, I think it will be. Okay. So I'm just going to invite you right now to feel centered inside your own skin. As we reaffirm the truth that there is only one thing, this universe of good, this divine givingness, this spirit, what we call God, that it is everywhere and beyond. That it is always eternal. That it is all powerful. It is all there is. And being infinite, without any edges, then every point within this great infinity is a center. Knowing this, I see that each one of us is a center in spirit itself. A center of consciousness in the great consciousness. Therefore, I know that we can claim good, and I do this now. I claim good and more good unfolding this week and always for each person here today, for everyone with whom we are connected wherever they are. In the world. out of the world. This good is like a light shining forth, bringing wisdom, peace, abundance, and kindness into this shared consciousness, our beautiful world. There is good for us. There is enough for everyone. I claim it right now. I give thanks for it right now. I know it exists right now. And I declare this is the way it really is. I invite you to know this with me by affirming with me. And so it is. Thank you. So, on the back of your programs is our closing song.
Open your heart, let your love go free, out over the ocean, right across the street. Let it flow like a river, let it fly like a dove, till your heart remembers, can't stop love. Once you get it started, watch what it does. It'll go full circle. You can't stop.